just real quickly, you know, the redevelopment agency, which came into this community years ago, determined that there was blight. Well, what do we see today? Blight. And that should send a signal that the job is not over. So no matter if Mayor Lee, Governor Brown, or those powers to be think that you can just now leave the community and leave the city and say, you know, the redevelopment unfolded, so these projects is sunset projects, that is absolutely what we're fighting against. We want the redevelopment to be accountable. We want the mayor to be accountable. We want Governor Brown to be accountable. And we want people to also come and be accountable to your community and get involved. This was supposed to be an anchor project. To anchor what? To anchor the community that was destroyed. Safeway was supposed to be an anchor project. So we're sitting on 732 parcel A, and now this is the fourth quarter, and you see this place going dark, and people are looking around and say, what happened? Well, there's a word called community benefits package.
Yeah, come on.
And when you deal with government, you must force them to push the community benefit package. We're not pointing fingers. We're just speaking truth. We're just telling and warning that if you keep ignoring the community, you'll see more places going dark. Businesses is closing everywhere. Gussie's closed. Chicago's barbershop closed. Black businesses is closing. So this city owes the black community as well as the community at large to come in and support this group effort. I stand with this group. We stand with this group in solidarity, and we ask others to come out and show their support. It's enough with just, you know, saying what government is not doing. What can we do here at Ground Zero? What can we do? We can pull human resources together before we pull financial resources together to bring the media group back and all community groups back in here to do the right thing. Thank you, and we look forward to working with you.
And tourism is filled by entertainment. People come here to San Francisco because they want to be entertained. So this is a cornerstone of entertainment here that we, the artists, community, business people are taking over, because it's one of the last venues that we can have to really not only showcase our own art here and the great artists we have in the Bay Area, like Bobby Webb standing right over there, and a lot of other artists. Ken is doing his thing, Dread. This is an economic engine powerhouse in the making, and we want to make sure that we have control over it. So I could go on, but I'm going to pass the mic on to the next person.
Monkey Ranch. We keep asking for the wrong thing. Do y'all know that Yoshi, the city gave them $10 million and told them that they didn't make no money, they didn't have to pay it back?
Is that right? Oh.
This is what really happened. What you have to understand is there is a movement to put all black people out of San Francisco. This ain't no happen chance. This is the way it is. What we're going to do about it is now the next item that's on the agenda. If we aren't going to get together and decide that we as a people have to organize around each other, because guess what? The lynch mob is coming. Meaning to do whatever is necessary to get rid of black people in San Francisco. It's just that simple. So I don't have much to say about it other than those are the facts. Movie that I wrote, a book that I wrote is now a movie. And it's America Still a Place, and it'll be at the Sundance on June the 11th. And I hope you see those.
Testing? All right. Rochelle Metcalf. You know, for many, many years, wrote the column, I heard that. And currently I'm writing for the Bayview newspaper, 3rd Street Stroll, writing about 3rd Street, and they're losing too. But let me tell you, I wrote many years about the Fillmore gentrification. And I remember how excited I was about this corner when they broke ground to build Yoshi's 1,300, all of this. We had all of this. Even though Yoshi's was here, we still had black entertainment coming in. Like you said, we had The barbershop over there, Chicago barbershop. We had Gussie's. You know what? Now when you come over here, we don't have no place to go over and get some soul food. You know, we don't have any place anymore. And we have to hold on. You got to fight. But the main thing is unity. We have to come together as one. No fighting about who gets part of this or who gets part of that. We want a piece of the action, even if it's only this block. Amen.
All right, here's another member of the Fillmore Media Group, Michael Fisher.
Hello, thanks everybody for coming out. I'm also a member of the Bay Area Media Group. I have a program on YouTube, Google Plus, I'm all over the web. The name of my program is People Behaving Proudly, as opposed to badly. There you go. I want to see folks that are doing good. I don't want to see nobody else doing bad. We need to put people on the front page that are doing good things as opposed to bad things. So that's what I do, my people. And also, I have a talk show on People Behaving Proudly that deals with people that are doing all types of good things. I have students on there. I have elementary kids. It doesn't matter. As long as you're doing a good thing, you're a part of the program here at the Bay Area Media Group. We were inside here when we first started.
Yeah.
We were inside this building when we first started. We need to get back in there. We need to get back in this place here, ladies and gentlemen. And with your help and your support, and with the word getting out to the right people, somebody's listening to us right now, believe me. They need to take the word back to the right person and let them know that we need to get back in this building. It's important that we get back in here. Our shows, we were on the road, we were going to a road of success. We were doing great. Now, we're not going to let that be the reason why we stop, because it's about the people. If we got to do it out here, we're going to do it. But we need to be in there for the facilities that's inside. We need to be in there for the use of everything that's in it. Because right now, it's collecting nothing but dust. Come on. Ain't nothing in there right now but a bunch of dirt mites. You know what I'm saying? We need people back in this building. Those people need to be us. The people of Fillmore need to be back in here. The people of the Bay Area need to be back in here. Yeah. I also want to say something, y'all, back up in this right here. He got the whole world in his hands. 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 You and me, he got you and me. In his hands, he got you and me. In his hands, he got you and me. In his hands, he got the whole world. In his hands, he got everybody. He got everybody. In his hands, he got everybody. In his hands, he got everybody. In his hands, he got the whole world in his hands. So with God's help, 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 we get back up in here. Okay? We get back up in this building. We need to be in here. The people in the Bay Area need to get up in there, but the Fillmore people, more than anybody, need to get back in there, because this building is in the Fillmore district. There's not too many places left for us anymore here, y'all. So we need your support. We need your support. Come on, get with us.
Black women in entrepreneurship. We need to have Ed Lee, the OWED, and the Commission on Small Business to really take a look at those of us who want to have businesses here on Fillmore, to be able to help us get the capital that we need. Last week, I was with Reverend Jackson with Push Tech 2020. There are many of us that are the next generation here that want to have technology and sustainability businesses here on Fillmore. We want to have hacker spaces here to be able to close the digital divide and the tech divide. And so it's very important that we start having these meetings about, what we can do with community development block grant dollars. The city receives, about $800 million of community development block grant dollars. We need to see that those dollars come here, that the next generation of entrepreneurship and of Black culture, where these empty storefronts that we have programs like we're in Oakland where they have pop-up hood, we need to be popping up Black businesses along this corridor, and we need to draw that capital here for us to do it. The next generation is ready. We are standing up, we are asking for opportunities, and we need those opportunities to be granted. We have programs like, feeder programs like Renaissance Entrepreneurship Center, and we have Urban Solutions, and now what we need to do is get that capital and the spaces that are empty here filled. We need Reggie's Barbershop. We need that place back open. We need young barbers to come in there and start cutting hair, because God knows I need a good haircut right now. Okay, so we need to get our businesses back up, and it's imperative that, businesses like mine want to come and be a solution. We want to contract with the city, and we need those contracts so that my business can get to work working with these other organizations that can, open up these storefronts and make sure that it's not just what we're talking about is Upper Fillmore or whatever the new name is that is trying to wipe our culture out on this street here. We need to make sure that Fillmore is here and always is here and remembering its history, good and bad. So thank you so much, and we look forward to working with, we're actually calling for a session for Mayor Lee to have us with OEWED and the Small Business Commission, as well as all of our capital folks and the San Francisco Foundation, to start an initiative on building Black business in the Fillmore corridor and in San Francisco. Thank you.
It's great to see everybody from the community. Anybody here who is concerned about the future of the Fillmore, where it once was the epicenter of greatness of the Black community in the 40s and 50s and 60s before redevelopment agency policies essentially devastated this community, this district, even up to the point of redevelopment agency's demise just several years ago. We're living with the legacy of bad planning. I was supervisor when they christened this building. I remember telling then Mayor Willie Brown, then Mayor Gavin Newsom, former Mayor Willie Brown, and then Mayor Gavin Newsom, that we should have listened to the lessons of Emmett Powell when he took his business over what used to be Gussie's, but it was Powell Soul Food before it was Gussie's, when they sent Emmett's business here before any of this opened, as in the canary in the coal mine. And when they did not support Emmett's business the way that it needed to be supported, then it was evident of the direction where many of these other businesses were going. And it was tragic that a lot of people don't know that the city foreclosed on Emmett Powell's houses in order to pay for his failed business, which was not well supported by redevelopment or the Brown or Newsom administration. And I remember sitting down with Mayor Newsom, still fairly new as mayor, being freshman supervisor of this great district, and saying, I don't like where this is going whatsoever. They said, well, wait a minute, Ross. We have a bigger plan. The bigger plan that's going to be the anchor for this district is the opening of Yoshi's, opening of all this along the way. We already had Marcella's here and Shiva, and this seemed to be ripe for even further opportunity. I said, well, I like it, but now I'm worried about the size, the scale of this thing, and a business that obviously, where the locals can't afford to buy a meal because of how cost prohibitive it is, or the tickets because of how expensive it was to get inside. What was the sustainability message in order to keep this business going? Nobody ever answered that question. And then when redevelopment decides, they pulled out, there was no after plan to deal with a Yoshi's that was dying, essentially, because it wasn't getting the business. And And if this was supposed to be the anchor to help revitalize the Fillmore corridor, then the Fillmore corridor goes along with the demise of this business. And I have yet to hear City Hall even declare any sense of concern about what is happening to this corridor. And we were bringing this back to life. When the Jazz Center in Hayes Valley was opening, I signed the contract that told them you do not open unless you reintegrate back with the community here, and that you must then make sure that your business must follow the business of Yoshi's, because I was worried it was going to eclipse Yoshi's because they were having competing jazz business. The Lee administration decided to ignore all of that entirely. And when the Jazz Center opened and they cut ribbon for this, then it was just that much more crystal clear in the direction of what businesses like Yoshi's and whatever succeeded it, where that they were going. So then I hear that the business shuts down, that they have an after business. Oh, what? What's that? You name it. And then they just close the doors to everybody. Well, we've come full circle, friends, and I've come back to the community in which I love being a supervisor of, with our family and my son, who was born on Webster Street. We come back. Where we come back, I think, to recognize a failed policy of the city, and that failed policy is that no business should be prohibiting the access to the people and that they wish to benefit from. And that is exactly the history and what brings us here today, providing solidarity with all of you. This was a good idea that has now evolved into a bad mistake. And we need to remind City Hall and the rest of the community who resides on the property values that are skyrocketing to benefit by capitalizing on a gentrifying neighborhood, that the people who've lived in the neighborhood the longest, who have history with this neighborhood generationally, should not be locked out of any business here, no matter your income status. This is not the San Francisco, at least that I would like to remember, that is sensitive, and that is caring, and that is custodian of communities that are struggling and that are challenged. And so when I got wind at my campaign kickoff on Wednesday night about this rally here today, I said, after Theo's done with his soccer and everything else, we'll bolt on over here. This is where we are. Whatever assistance we can lend, you can count me in. But this is, in closing, about so much more than a good group of people here deserving to have access. This is really the emblem of where City Hall, I think, is abandoning community. And that cannot allow it to happen any further. And when you have such a large business where so much front-loaded money from redevelopment was vested, and then all of a sudden there's this evacuation from any idea of what comes next here, then you're not undermining the business potential, you're undermining the solidarity and integrity of an entire community. And that cannot be allowed to happen, and that message needs to get to City Hall.
Right on, Ross. Right on, Ross. Right on, Ross.
Hi, my name is Amy Farrell-Weiss, and I'm really happy to be here. Thanks to Majid for inviting me to speak here today. And I moved into this neighborhood west of Divisadero back in 2008, and when I moved there, I wanted to find out about the history of the place that I moved into, and I found out that in 1906, Fillmore became the epicenter for the whole city, and people acted like they were in a crisis, because they were, and they came together, and they helped each other. And then this was one of the only neighborhoods in San Francisco where someone with darker colored skin could actually buy a home and live. And then I heard about Harlem of the West, and then I heard about the redevelopment, and I heard about Mary Helen Rogers. And then fast forward to, a couple years ago, I was working with some of the people here to save Marcus books. And it was so ironic because I went to a meeting and then I went downtown. I was riding my bike down Golden Gate. Who would I see? But Ed Lee. And and London Breed standing out for a ribbon cutting ceremony for the very helicopter.
How you doing today? My name is LaRon Mayfield. When this establishment was Yoshi's, I did two successful events. We sold almost 25,000 alcohol. Fight I had one of my events, a fight broke out. Got the fight under control. Everything was okay. Nobody got hurt. And then they banned me from my community. I'm from Fillmore. I grew up here. You know what I mean? I done been through a lot of obstacles. But now I'm a successful businessman. I own 7 properties in Atlanta. I just did a big show in Las Vegas for the Mayweather fight. I had Meek Mill, which is a platinum artist, and I do a lot of successful events around here. And they banned me. It wasn't right. You know what I mean? So whoever's taking on this establishment, I want to have something to do with it. With my community, and I want to show these youngsters that it's something different that they can do in the community besides, selling dope or robbing. And I'm a Fillmore motivator. I motivate these youngsters to do the right thing. I done stopped a lot of violence. I done stopped a lot of murders in this community. And everybody know me in this community. And when a brother trying to do the right thing, we need the support of the city. And we wasn't getting the support of the city. They were blaming everybody, saying the police said it wasn't good. I went talk to the captain. The captain said they never said that. But Yoshi's was an establishment that was trying to ban. I don't know if it was black people or if it was just me. And I'm not tolerating it, and I'm gonna let them know whatever this establishment want to be, and I want to be a part of it. Right? Amen.
Also, Yoshi's, I would very much indeed love to be an owner because I have 45 years of cooking. I also know entertainers that can step in and entertain inside Yoshi's, like Bobby Ware and whoever else would be. I would like to be the owner of Yoshi's. It won't be Yoshi's, it would be called the Taste of New Orleans Cajun, maybe something off the field. I can easily change the name once I get the money.
One of the things that I've learned is if I don't sit in on these board meetings where the deals are being cut, it's very important that we learn to be at certain key meetings concerning housing, concerning education, concerning technology.
I just want to say, I was going to say anything with my black eye and so forth, but I just want to say that I'm 69 years old. I've walked from Pine and Fillmore down to Golden Gate and Fillmore to the church I went through. And I've lived in this community all my life. I live in the same house I grew up in, going to Ben, Drew School, Galileo, and so forth. It's a shame that, and there are many others who still live in the same house they grew up in this community. It's a shame that we couldn't use this space to bring us together again. It's a shame that they wouldn't allow us to find ways to generate the money and also train the people who could use the space inside to learn how to cook, to learn how to usher, anything else that could be going on in this building. I didn't see much of that happening, but a few times I was here. I would like to also thank Ken Johnson for really making this happen. Ken has been a focal point for me to look at the community. I've known Ken as a young man. No, actually we grew up together and went to school together. There are so many things that can happen if we all stay together and do more of these kind of events. And again, thank everyone for having this event today.
I played Yoshi's when Yoshi's first opened up. I played most of the places, most of the clubs here in the Western Addition. And I'm here to speak on getting some venues back in the area where we have a nice time, where we have live music, live entertainments, more restaurants, and more places for our youngsters to go. They get out of school, they have no place to go, nothing to do, and hang on the corner. And that's not nice.
Dr. Flowers,
bring the youth in here to produce things that they produce, such as rap, movies, writing books, any positive endeavor that they done achieved in their lifetime. We want to come in and put that on YouTube, Facebook, Channel 29, 76. So we want to be a platform for them for marketing. That's part of our goal. And we want to be a part of stopping the violence in the community. Saying that, thank you all for visiting. And I hope I see you all sometime inside the building. What we're doing.
Yeah. We're good. You want ketchup or mustard? Thank you very much.
Thank you for inviting me to say a few words. I'm glad that the community is interested in trying to preserve this facility. This is a facility that has started and established with a lot of effort as early as 1990s with the commitment and directive of the former mayor Frank Jordan. Directly to make sure this happens, to essentially mitigate the economic difficulties and the inequalities in the black community. This is a facility that's supposed to be serving the community both cultural and otherwise. So whatever happens to it, it should be both economically and culturally relevant to this community. And I'm glad that this community is fighting for it. And whatever I can do in this, and I'm with you guys. So I've been in here a long time anyway, so I'm with you.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Vivian Ellis, and I'm from Bayview. And I've been in the arts for over 45 years. I'm a producer and choreographer. And I work with the youth and seniors. And I was brought to by Jim and Michael Rabb and other people. And I came over here to support not just Fillmore, but the whole city, the Bay Area. That's why we call Fillmore Bay Area Media Group, because we do not discriminate. But the city has lost its integrity for people, period. People, period. And it has nothing to do with colors, race, or anything. But I teach children how to get along in the arts, and I'm good at what I do. Right? So I work with the youth now, and I have some young choreographers. And so please, let's support if you can. Thank you very much.